This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Hello and welcome to the iRacing Esports Network and the BSR MX5 Pro Series presented by Apex Racing TV. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick and today I'm joined alongside by Marco Barbier for these four 15-minute races around this legendary Snetterton 300 circuit. I will just clarify, I am slightly biased towards this circuit. Live just 20 miles away in the fields of Norfolk. This circuit is set, and Marco, it's a pretty good circuit for these MX5s. It's a bit inappropriate, I'd say, for larger cars like GTs and prototypes, but for these small MX5 cars, I think it's just the right fit.
I absolutely agree with you. Hello Sam, hello everyone. Fresh from the Amateur Cup round that we had on Apex Racing TV last night. I can tell you that the racing was absolutely fantastic. Some of these drivers were there last night, and so they had some nice preparation. I also think we will have a night race in race 4, because race 3 last night was in the dark, but it was like a sunset with a boatload of clouds, so you didn't have the scary looking iRacing night in this kind of tracks, but it was quite cool, I might add. So looking forward to that. Usually when we have a night race in the Monday, it's usually the same here in the Pro Series, and I'm so happy to be back here on the iRacing Esports Network. Hello to all of our viewers watching us. We are just in the closing stages of qualifying, and we are just waiting for the session to switch over. I was talking last night, Sam. It is a deceptively long lap around here. The quicker drivers will lap around 2 minutes 5, 2 minutes 6. It doesn't seem at first, because this is a club track, and but in this 300 version it can be quite long, and so these 15-minute races will have not a lot of laps in them.
Yes, and after race 1, then rather than having 15-minute timer, they will have a set amount of laps. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Mark. Not too many laps for these drivers to complete. A couple of minutes of gridding up. The qualifying is in, and on pole position is Jason Cooper. The top two in the championship, Cooper and Ashton, and they are in that position in the championship as well. Cooper 1/1000th ahead of Jack Ashton. Bjorn Holmes starts in third place, and it's Ashley Beard. Jamie Ayres, Adam McNally, Nars Carstensen, Alex Cherney, Steve Hefford, and David Hampson running out the top 10. There's Adam Delmont, Kip Stevens, Nick McKern, Ben Sharp, Max Wright, Cesar Rizzo, Martin Sampson, Craig Cameron, Ben Mears, Stuart Dick, Pete Van Gool, Charles Kellyman, Adrian Hendy, David Ayres, and Michael Barry running out the top 25. The rest of the drivers will go through for you now. By the way, the top AM driver is Ben Sharp, by the way, in 14th place. Second place there is Max Wright and also Martin Sampson. Quickly, just we'll mention the championship. Luke Cooper is leading the championship ahead of Jack Ashton. Nick McKern and Luke Cooper are third and fourth in the AM standings. Ursum leads with Mears and Malcolm in second and third positions. So just a few more drivers to get onto the grid. Currently, Max Wright isn't on the grid. He's starting in a second position out of the amateur drivers. So it would be a great shame if he couldn't make it, but we've still got another 30 seconds or so to get onto the grid. And of course, also for the teams as well, this could be a very important race. We're over halfway through the season, and we're here at Snetterton. Who is going to take it? It's Jason Cooper from the pole position. And away we go. Cooper off with a very poor start. I think Ashton's going to get alongside him and maybe even pull ahead going into turn 1. But which is the ideal line, the outside or the inside? You could see big issues going into turn 2. That's the very tight hairpin just after this called Montreal. As Cooper stays on the inside. Ashton could be under pressure now from Brian Holmes as well. He's got to be very careful already. The field separating a little bit so far. And that should reduce the risk of an incident. And they have seemingly got through that relatively cleanly. Just a couple of drives maybe dropping down the field. I think David Ayres with a little bit of a poor start further down the order. But you can see already into single file the top 7 drivers or so. And it's Cooper who resisted that attack early on. But I imagine it's not going to be easy these next 14 minutes for him.
Yeah, absolutely. We are used, of course, to very, very tight packs of cars and very hard to get away, as we see the drivers using all of the track. You can be quite, expand your racing line quite a bit around here. The only danger is you cannot do it too much, especially in this particular corner that brings us back to the backstretch, because if you go too much on the grass, the car can spin towards the inside wall, and that is not ideal. Also, you can get a big slowdown there. Have to be super careful. And now, of course, my favorite corner of this track, this very weird chicane, which is not really a chicane, which is 2 corners, I think, glued together, will catch a lot of drivers off guard.
As Beard, I think, getting the, or is he defending at the moment? Having to just miss the apex there to leave room for the driver there. That was Ashley Beard then defending on the SimLab car just behind you. Almost loses the position. Still top 7, haven't changed position so far. The Steve Hefford has gained a position up into 8th. But really, also Stephen Baxter up 11 places. He's gone from 36th to 25th. And in a sea of drivers where it's maybe 1 or 2 positions gained, and he's really the odd one out. A terrific start for the driver who now sits in 15th place, as we see an off car number 24. And that was Ben Sharp, who was leading the AM drivers. Not anymore. Max Wright gets ahead, and Sharp with a mistake coming out of Murray's, and that's really cost him poorly there. Now, going back after losing the position on the opening lap, Alex Cherney gets past Steve Hefford. Hefford tries to stick it around the outside, but I think he's got to be more concerned about the drivers behind. And that is nicely done there from Alex Cherney. So back up into 8th place, and now the top 13 are exactly how they started. Not a usual occurrence in this series, Mark.
Yeah, let's put it on the graphics to see. Absolutely crazy. You are absolutely right. Doesn't happen very often. It's going to change very soon, I think, as they are once again battling into Agostini side by side. As they now get... I think that Agostini is named after Giacomo Agostini, the very famous Italian motorcycle, multiple times world champion, I would guess. I'm not... None other famous racing Agostini comes into mind, so maybe it's dedicated to him.
And you would know, assuming that it's an Italian name.
Yeah. He was basically Valentino Rossi before Valentino Rossi, super popular rider, champion in many categories back in the days. So I think Rossi's agent for quite a bit.
Okay. Currently the top 3, super close, pulling away from Ashley Beard. And 4th as Beard really misjudged that one, and going into bomb hole. He's going to lose that position. And Cherney as well, who just got up into 8th place, and he's down into 10th place now. Gets overtaken by Hefford and Hampson. So we are starting to see some changes of position now. A few mistakes early on from these drivers. We saw one from Ben Sharp, which yielded the race lead. And now some of the front runners as well making mistakes, but Cherney seems to have gathered himself back up. Once again, Beard under big pressure. So Beard has actually been overtaken by Ayres, of course, after that mistake. And a little bit of bump drafting perhaps down the pit straight. Didn't feel like going for the move there. And quite a good tactic, to be fair, to excite drivers. That was McNally pushing along Beard. As Cooper having to go defensive against Ashton. That's really the first attack since the first corner that Jack Ashton has made. Certainly possibilities for him. There's a few decent length straights, and of course in these guys have got pretty much no aero wake. So he can kind of take his time and have a few big braking zones. One of them going into Agostini. But Cooper just putting his car in the middle of the circuit, no way through for the Excite iRacing driver.
Yes, as basically Cooper now using all of the track and even a bit more to defend from Ashton. Let's go on board with him.
You can see even in these Mazdas, the circuit is pretty narrow. It's difficult to get two cars side by side around this part of the circuit. This part of the circuit was added in about 2011, 2012, I think. And yeah, it does add pretty much half the corners to the circuit as Ashton, once again, going to go for me. This is where the track really opens up. And this is where you start to really generate some speed. Ashton to the outside. If you can hang it round the outside here, then he's going to have the intro for the next corner. Jack Ashton goes for it. Is he going to lose the car? He gets a four-wheel drift there. And he couldn't quite keep the pace up on the outside. And now here comes Brian Holmes going down the inside. But Holmes backs out a bit. They're going to work together, seeing that they are teammates. But this battling for the top two is actually inviting other drivers involved as well. Jamie S catching up to these guys in 4th place.
Yeah, another two Excite cars in Beard and McNally are also starting to creep into the fight for the podium, as we see everyone going very, very wide there. As lap 4 will start right now. Max Wright is still your leader in the amateurs, by the way, after getting the lead a couple of laps ago from Sharp after Sharp made that mistake coming out of the final corner. Everyone goes wide.
That's the new racing line, seemingly. They do have an instant limit.
Yeah, 20.
Of 20, you're absolutely right, Marco. So
I only know because I've broke that limit many times when I was racing in this series.
Fair enough. So, yeah, so Cooper actually pulls away a little bit. The issue for Charlie Summers, by the way, he's usually one of the front runners, but having a bit of a difficulty out there today. Summers is in, he's in 15th in the championship, but yeah, not having a good time with it today. So he's dropped down the, sorry, well, actually, no, he gained loads of places, I think, but he's dropped a few. He's still up 11 places from his start. Stephen Baxter's up 16 places from his starts. A couple of big games. Josh Rayfield up 14, as Sharp is having to go defensive now against Sampson. So the former leader. And sorry, Sharp's trying to get past Rizzo. Apologies.
Yeah,
and,
basically the fight between Wright and Sharp was now head-to-head, but now Rizzo jumped in the middle of these two. This is going to invite, I think, Samson back into the fight for the amateur lead, the leader Max Wright. You see, not that far ahead, even though he's enjoying the slipstream from Kip Stevens, who just went past him.
So Beard falling into the clutches of McNally now. But you imagine they're going to engineer this to lose the team as little time as possible. Currently in Excite Racing, 2-3, 5-6. And they want to maintain that to the end of the race. So it really does help when you've got a bit of a monopoly like that. But here comes Holmes past Ashton. So the driver in quite far down the championship, Brian Holmes, down in 12th place in the championship, gets past the 2nd place in the championship, Jack Ashton.
These guys need to be so careful, Sam, of using all the... I mean, I know these are pro drivers, they know what they are doing, but each time I see them extend the track limits there, this is not Circuit of the Americas, you don't have tarmac there. That's the dreadful British grass, so, I mean, they have to be careful, because one of these laps they will risk, I think, maybe too much. Not want to jinx them, of course, but... this is going to be very interesting, as you know, you can be lucky once, twice, maybe the third time you end up in the wall. So gotta be super careful, as still with only 5 minutes left, the pack is really, really close, and we haven't seen many big accidents, which is a testament to how nicely these drivers are going around, respecting each other in the battles.
Yeah, plenty of runoff here. I say runoff, you know, grass. Some of these parts around this circuit, there's not actually barriers. It's just fields, and iRacing have made imaginary barriers. I'm pretty sure if you go far enough down turn 1, you will eventually crash into my house. but instead iRacing puts up an invisible wall, as now Ashton plays in on his teammate, and seemingly struggling to pull away at the moment is Brian Haynes, but that was a good corner, carrying a lot of speed into that one. Of course, anyone who was watching the World GT on the iRacing Esports Network yesterday would have seen the walls there, and these guys able to check his send a little bit. We either need walls or that drag strip that they had at the Hockenheim race outside of turn 16. You know, imagine that round here. You would be off into Suffolk if you made a mistake. And I realise 99% of viewers will not understand that reference, but trust me, anyone who lives in Norfolk will be will appreciate that wit.
You'll end up into Ipswich, basically.
Yeah. Oh, well done. I don't know how you know that.
Football.
Oh, of course. Yeah. the classic derby, the proper English derby.
The old farm, yes.
Yes. Hampson versus Cherney. And Cherney, he's had a bit of a tough race, and here he is. He's going to lose another position to Nick McKern, who, of course, is one of the front runners in the championship. Not having a great time, but
careful there.
that could be a bit problematic for him. But in the end, it's Cherney who is super unlucky, gets puts off into the wall, and Dave Hampson there with a self spin under not much pressure, and just seemed to lose the rear on traction.
Seemed very much like so, and this basically created then a rift in that particular section, and bad race for Alex Cherney. Let's focus on this fight. I think the top 5, top 8 are the guys that will battle it out until the end, and of course there's still the fight for the amateur lead, which is still in the hands of Max Wright. A bit sad for Hampson, because I don't know how many people remember this, but 888 was my number when I used to race in this series. I still have to serve 4 pit lane starts, by the way, in the penalty sheet from a couple of seasons ago. After that, I said, it's better to commentate, because, let's say after my less than stellar performance in the Phoenix Oval, I decided to not race anymore, and for good reasons. But I raced in here, in this track, exactly 1 year ago and 1 week to this date.
Was it 200 or 300?
It was 300. It was 300.
Ah, okay.
In the in-race chat here in our Discord, you can see a still image from the 3rd or 4th race of the day.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah, not pretty, let's say. Here comes Ez. He's going to go to the inside of Brian Holmes. So Ashton got back past Holmes, and now Ez go past Holmes as well. Holmes was looking so strong earlier on, really keeping up with the top 2 with ease, staying in the slipstream. But it looks like he's going to lose that one going into Montreal. And Jamie Ez, who started down in 5th position, he's having a really good time of it at the moment. Currently 7th in the championship is Ez, still with a small opportunity at the season win. There's no showdown in this series, as far as I'm aware. So it really does just come down to your points across all the races. As going a little bit wide was one of the drivers just in the background. You can see how spread out the drivers are. Very rare to see this in this series. And of course, if you think there's not that much action in this race one, trust me, when you see race 2 and race 3 and race 4, when we have 40-odd reverse grids, there's going to be a lot of action for that. So do stick with us. And to be fair, for the race lead, we've seen a very interesting battle. After Ashton seemed to be really struggling in the mid part of the race, all of a sudden he's the man on the charge and into that slipstream. And anyone who's raced this Mazda before knows that slipstream effect is really pivotal in this car. And you can see down this straight he's gained about 1.5 tenths of a second.
Yes, as at the same time, we have Brian Holmes in here trying to settle the score with Jamie Ayres, but not going to work. A few weeks ago I commented on the BSRTC, and I called the progression of the BSR series race after race, slow descent into madness, and our colleague Woody said no, it's a very quick descent into madness, and he's absolutely right, because the intensity ramps up race after race, and this being the longest race night of them all in the BSR series with 4 races, of course. And the more you go ahead, the more these drivers are thinking, I want to get a good result. I want to go home with a good result. As I think we had a very, very tight white flag. So this will be the final lap of the race. We had 7 laps last night in the amateur series, 8 just by inches in this one.
And that means that the next 3 races as well will be 8 laps long. So we've got side by side. Ayres trying to, Ayres trying to defend from Holmes. So Holmes now back on the charge, shows how much that slipstream really does help you, because it's kind of a medium length straight and then a corner, and that's pretty much, there's not really many complexes necessarily around this circuit, and so you can constantly be tugging yourself back up to the driver behind. Cooper under big pressure now from Ashton. Ashton's been closing in for about 5 laps now, or maybe not that many, but 3 laps. And finally, he's within striking distance. He's got half a lap to get it done. And probably over these next couple of corners is his best chance. We saw him on the last lap gaining by about 1.5 tenths of a second down this straight. And he's currently quarter of a second behind, maybe even 3 tenths. But now he'll start gaining as we are halfway down the back straight. You know what? Cooper might just have this one covered. And after this corner, there's not really any opportunity to get the move unless you can go for a real surprise move into Bombhole. And Cooper seems to have it covered. Almost contact between 3rd and 4th. Still, Ayres hangs on against Holmes, and that's going to be the end of that one. Holmes really slow on the outside of that corner. But he should hang on to 4th place. Cooper, though, 2 tenths of a second ahead. That's all he needs. And these might be crucial points to extend his championship lead. The championship leader is going to beat 2nd in the championship as they have the run to the line. The gap's decreasing all the while, but it's not going to be enough for Jack Ashton. It is going to be enough for Jason Cooper, and he wins race 1 at Snetterton. Ayres will get 3rd position, Holmes in 4th. Almost got overtaken by Beard after a late mistake. We're going to see very close between McCarran and Delmont, but McCarran just about crossed the line there. Right the top of the AM drivers with a very impressive 11th place overall. Sharp will be 2nd in the AM drivers. And just looking a little bit further down, Martin Sampson will be 3rd. Issue for Dave Hampson right at the end of the race. He has had a couple of issues. I believe he was the driver who spun at Montreal earlier on. And he also had a poor run to the line coming out of Murray's. Very close between Max Bohr, Dave Hampson, and Scott Malcolm. They're about 0.04 of a second between them. As very slow across the line as well is
Craig Jones.
Yes.
Something wrong with Craig's car. He's maybe out of fuel, I would imagine, caught out by this tricky. Maybe he raced last night in the amateur series. Maybe he was a little bit surprised by the pace they had at the front. But first and second place didn't fight it out too much. So they didn't slow themselves up and so or down. So they could basically go at full speed all race long. As we are waiting for one of the biggest, losers of this race, Alex Czerny, 32 spots lost from his starting position. He will round up the proceedings in P40, so certainly one of the drivers that could bounce back, will look to bounce back in race 2. And that was it, as we are about to give you the race results for this first race of the night. And just a second, because we have, I love that Alex saves his project files for his 500 screens, and then when I open it, I have one single screen stretched upon miles of pixels.
Whilst you're doing that, I'll go through some of the incidents that drivers accumulated. Rob Graham got disqualified, by the way, with 19 incidents. Also, you had Adrian Hendy on 14. Craig Jones got 15. Josh Rayfield got 16. Dave Hampson actually got disqualified then. So he got 9. Oh, sorry, no, apologies, it's 20, but I'm thinking of the official side. So no one actually got disqualified. But Graham and Hampson were very close on 19. Kind of shows how tight they were. Ashton, despite going wide at turn 1, pretty much overlapping, accumulated 7, which is a bit surprising. Marco, do we have the results on screen now?
We have them.
Awesome. Well, it's Jason Cooper then, winning out 1/10 of a second over Jack Ashton. Third place was Jamie Ayres with fourth Brian Holmes, and then it was Ashley Beard, Adam McNally, Steve Hefford, Niles Gustafson, Nick McKern, and Adam Darmont rounding out the top 10. Max Wright was top of the drivers. Kip Stevens was in 12th place overall. Then was Ben Sharp, second place in the drivers. Then Cesar Rizzo, Steve Baxter, Stuart Dick, Martin Sampson, Charlie Summers, Ben Mears, James McRitchie, David Ayres, Adrian Hendy, Max Bohr, David Hampson, who was 1 incident away from getting disqualified, Scott Malcolm, Roots Van Essen, Pete Van Gool, Billy Rose, Joe McDonald, Rob Graham, Ewan Ersum, Craig Cameron, Liam Silkston, Andy Maxwell, Steve Cooley, Christian Brown, Craig Jones, Josh Rayfield, Steve Hansford, and Alex Chain. Those were the drivers on the lead lap. Viv Kernel was 1 lap down, so all of those top 41 drivers will be eligible for the reverse grid. The drivers who won't be reversed because they retired were Charles Kellyman, Carl Yacolet, and Michael Barry. So, Marco, it's the best time of the evening, and you're actually going to have 8 reverse grid wheels. Oh, sorry, 6 reverse grid wheels in 2 days. I mean, that's heaven, pretty much.
It's fantastic, you know, and this is my favorite series to do. I think because you have 3 reverse grids, you know, to sort out all night long, and so the reverse grid wheel for race 1, well, for race 2, should be on your screen right now. And yes, let's roll it. It is going to be 30-30, which means your pole sitter is Rob Graham for the second race of the day. Joe McDonald will start in second from the United States, and then we are going to have Billy Rose, Peter Van Kool, and Footer Van Essen. This will be your top 5 for race 2.
Yes, so Rob Graham, who accumulated 19 incidents and very nearly got disqualified, he'll be on pole position, only beat Ewan Erston as well by 1/10 of a second. So well, he should get a lottery ticket. I'm not sure if there's any lotteries in the UK on a Tuesday, but you know, a scratch card, anything like that, he should invest in that certainly. He'll be on pole position for race 2. Hopefully you'll join us then in about 20 minutes time. See you then.
Gotta love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing. To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though. Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
40 of the best sim racers. $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaw.
Gotta love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying, there's contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Of the best sim racers. $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaw.
Gotta love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon
with what amazing.
Race lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
I trying, there's contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got him four abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show under the world of outlaw.
Gotta love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing. Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing.
Race lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
I trying, there's contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got him four abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show under the world.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network. and the BSR MX5 Pro Series. We are just getting up for race 2 of the evening here at Snetterton, running the 300 layout. On pole position for this second race is Rob Graham. Joe McDonald starts in second place. And it's Billy Rose, Pete Van Gool, Wout van Essen, Scott Malcolm, Dave Hampson, Max Bohr, Adrian Hendy, and David Ayres. We saw a reverse grid of 13, so the race winner of race 1, Jason Cooper, starts down in 30th position. Top 3 drivers are drivers, of course. Myself is Sam Fitzpatrick, and once again I'm joined alongside by Mark Hibabnet, and we're just about 10 seconds away from getting this race underway. Really difficult to pick a race winner in this one, a sizable reverse grid, and could be in for a very unpredictable 8 laps, about 15 minutes. Here we are then. So Graham unfortunately can't take the start, so it's going to be Joe McDonald inheriting the pole position. And away we go at Snetterton. Straight away, Billy Rose with a terrific start, gets past Joe McDonald. Pete Van Gool's going to be challenging going into turn 1 as well. You can see some 3 wide, even 4 wide going into turn 1, but Billy Rose pulls away from the rest of the field for Northern Lights Racing. Just behind, Wout van Essen looks like he's going to get past Joe McDonald. Can they all get through to Montreal as they did in race 1? It was very clean last time, a little bit of contact further down the order. But so far, pretty courteous from everyone. But you can see a lot of 2 wide, 3 wide, not like we saw in race 1. But out in the lead, Billy Rose absolutely scampering away. But in fact, Pete Van Gool straight away challenges him. Round the outside he goes, but Rose has that one covered for now.
Yes, and Van Essen and Hampson looking to stay close. Of course, we will see a lot of chaos as you expected. You see the left side of your screen mixed with the green and the blue. Green being the amateurs and blue being the pros, as Hampson getting very, very close to the rear end of Van Essen there as they go for the first time on the Bentley straight. And I think we're going to see some moves.
Yeah, I think so. McDonald getting past Hendy, although Hendy's just dropping down the order a bit, picking up a slowdown. And that's what we talked about in race 1. Fortunately, no one picked it up then, but this time we have suffered from it. Here comes Van Gool, though. He's going to momentarily take the lead. Round the outside he goes, but just backs out of that one. If they start battling with one another, though, then they are going to invite a lot of other drivers in as well. Charlie Summers, I think, has just got past Max Bohr. He could be a very dangerous customer. Starts down in 13th position, as finished pretty low in race 1 due to a couple of issues, a qualifying ban, I believe. So he could be a real danger in this next race, as we see Mears almost getting completely squeezed on the inside as they go into Murray's, making contact all the way, and Mears locking up all 4 tyres from what I could see, and he might just get that move done in the
Scott
end,
Malcolm!
because they've all got very poor exits as into the
No!
wall then, making
Oh,
contact,
no.
and that's going to involve 3 or 4 cars.
Yeah, that's a big wreck. Malcolm lost the car there, and there was nothing I think he could do. As we switch back to the fight for the lead, we'll get back to that I think after the race, as Hampson is really putting on the moves. Oh, contact with Billy Rose, and that was I think Wouter van Essen now has a very, very damaged front end of his MX5 as this battle continues, with Rose and McDonald also fighting for the lead in the amateur. At the same time, we have to keep an eye on the fight at the front. Absolutely chaotic way to start the race.
Yeah, so I don't think we saw Van Gool making the move on Rose. He's, of course, down into 3rd position now. Almost spinning it is Bohr, sorry, I think. But dropping down the order there. So real chaos at the moment, but Van Gool under pressure once again from Hampson. Rose just seems to be falling down the order. Summers up 9 places now. He's been really pacey in this race, and once again down the Bentley straight. Going to go to the outside. I think he's going to get this one done very early on. Is Charlie Summers pulling ahead? We'll get a little bit of slipstream as well from the car ahead, and Rose realised that it's better to back out of this one. Might still win out of the amp. Drivers have almost got contact going down the Bentley straight. How they didn't collide in a big way there. Wout van Essen having a battle with Stephen Baxter. And they're still side by side through bomb hole. Baxter down the inside. Should have the ideal line because you got to go such a further distance on the outside of the circuit. And yeah, Baxter will pull ahead there. So coming to the end of lap 2. And Baxter up 10 places now. Steve Heffer's up 13 places. McNally is up 10 places. Ayres is up 10 places. Not much progress made by Ashton and Cooper, up 8 places each. It doesn't look like they're going to threaten for the race win in this one.
That final corner, so tricky, even when you are on the proper racing line, because the way the track works there, you are basically having to brake while turning, and that is never an easy proposition, not even in this car. Charlie Summers is looking feisty in the mirrors of the SimLab car of Dave Hampson. The two SimLab drivers are first and second, with Swift Cooper, number 36, in third. Billy Rose holding up Joe McDonald in the lead for the Ham. But how long is it going to last? Because I think that McDonald is really looking feisty in the rear view mirror of his opponent.
It's a bit of an issue for Ashley Beard, by the way. He's dropped about 10 places in the last few minutes. I think just went a long way off the circuit, potentially in turn 1. So issues for him, not what he needed by any means. Of course, still got maybe a small chance that, or important for the team's championship, certainly Ashley Beard, an Excite iRacing driver. See the top three have absolutely scampered away. Rose still defending valiantly, but this is for the race lead. McDonald to the outside. And it does take them a while in these Masters to get into this next corner, as McDonald, yeah, he's going to make that one. Rose has been very polite so far, hasn't got caught up in any incidents. Lots of curb there, almost flipping the car around. You can see how suddenly very interested is Wout Van Essen just behind these guys, but Rose hangs on to the position against Baxter, but I don't think it's going to take Baxter too long to claim that 5th place.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I know a thing or two about that particular corner there, as we have an issue for the race leader. Man, Peter Van Gool will be furious with himself. Throwing away the race lead, dropping into 4th, now 5th, maybe even 6th, as he's heading into the first corner.
Change of lead, by the way. They're currently side by side, Hampson and Summers. Summers, he started down in 13th place. He's got the inside, and he's got the lead as Charlie Summers for Swift Cooper Esports. A little bit of a poor exit, though, and Hampson will try to get parts of his car alongside. I think he has managed to get alongside, and the inside into this next one will be of advantage. Summers super wide, almost running the wall of death there, and unfortunately, he falls victim to it. So Hampson takes back the race lead. McDonald 2¼ seconds behind, just too far behind to profit from it. And, well, I imagine really kicking himself there is Pete Van Gool, because he would have been right in that lead battle if it weren't for that mistake.
Yeah, David Ayres also made a mistake, as we see some smoke in the background. So Ayres actually is P30.
That's it. Driver Billy Rose, who was running in the lead in the very early stages, far from that now, and has he got significant damage? We've also got a little bit more contact, I think, just ahead. Certainly heard some contact, but I don't think anyone's lost much time, as Rose, well, he's losing some time to a couple of other drivers. I think that was Holmes as Sharp now off the circuit. He was running in the top 10.
Holmes is out, so let's get all the replays out of the way. So this should be Peter Van Gool making a mistake. No, not this. But this is the right one. No, not even this one. Well, we'll get back to that later. The live racing is more important.
Yeah, we'll look at the incidents after the race, as Hampson gets a bit of a slap on. I think he kept his foot in it, though. He didn't seem to lose
Van
any
Essen.
time. Yeah, Wout Van Essen was having a good run up in the top 5. But he's another one who's fallen victim. Also, McNally trying to get past Rizzo. McNally now up 18 places. As long as he makes this one stick, which he does. So he's scoring more important points for Excite Energy currently. Also, McDonald under pressure from Baxter. Baxter up into 3rd position. There he goes. Up 13 places is Stephen Baxter. It's all going on. Lots of different changes. A lot of drivers who finished well in race 1 trying to make their way up. Of course, race 3 as well will have a reverse grid. And so even if they gain a lot of places there, they're going to have to face the same tribulations in race 3 as well. As Hampson goes very deep, is this the opportunity for Summers? He gets his car alongside. I think he's going to have to back out of it. Yes, he does, going into Hamilton. And, well, credit to Dave Hampson. I thought this one would be over and done with a while ago, Marco, because Summers looks super quick, but Hampson just positioning his car perfectly.
Yeah, you know, I thought that I thought the same. I mean, Summers certainly looking to have a good run after race 1, and by all means, 2nd place is great. But I think he wants that first position, and you can see we talked about this at length. The slipstream very big. As at the same time, Peter Van Gool in a comeback up to 4th position as he goes past McDonald. His teammate Steve Efford trying to do the same, as McRitchie has to tow back to the pit, so that's why he's showing up in 1st place, but that is going to disappear quite quickly. Efford not being able to get past McDonald, so the only good thing for Van Gool out of all of this is that he's not that far away from the race lead, and that his car has no damage. Efford, well, that corner there, putting the drivers into big pressure, and now here comes McNally trying to profit. Oh, clipping the inside wall. Very you know, aggressive move there.
He's still going to get the move done on the SimLab car of Steve Harris. I think these two are fighting each other in race 1 as well. So that's that battle renewed, and I'm sure they're going to be battling one another in race 3 as well. Still got what, 3 more laps to go after this one, so a while to go. Still plenty of opportunities for drivers to make up some positions, but I think the top 3 positions or so pretty much sorted, and Hampson now pulling away from Summers. We did not predict this one. Maybe Summers just making a mistake on that last lap, half a second slower. So yeah, I think he just made a mistake. Jack Ashton on that last lap, fastest lap of the race. He was 1 second faster than the race leaders. Unfortunately for him, he is 8 seconds off the lead with a whole lots of cars to overtake. He is still staying with Jason Cooper. Oh, sorry, well, Cooper is staying with him at least. And they have quite a few cars to get past. First up, then will be Jamie Ayres, and then Ben Mears. Rob Graham, I think, just turning back to the pits. He was the driver. He was supposed to start from pole position. Unfortunately, couldn't take the grid. Or has he towed to the pits? Oh, I think he's just had enough instead.
He went off, then maybe he had a connection issue because he disappeared, and then he reappeared. Oh, we have got back live because Cesare Rizzo is spinning in the grass, getting passed by many drivers. At the same time, Ben Mears fighting with Jason Cooper as they head into the backstretch. As Hampson has got 1.2 seconds over Summers, who's got 1 second over Baxter and Van Gool McNally, as there's a slow car there, but I think it's a lapped car, maybe. As Billy Rose, I think, has been disqualified.
Ah. Well, he's the first driver to fall victim to that, as at least on my screen, the sun comes out here at Norfolk. Side by side now between McDonald and Ashton. So Ashton, this is a really good drive from Jack Ashton. I was being harsh to him earlier on when, after 2 laps, he'd only gained 8 places. But by these guys' standards, often they make up even more places than that. But since then, he has been absolutely rapid. Apologies. And Cooper also gets the move done as well. He does not want to lose touch of Ashton. Those two very tight at the top of the standings. And Cooper, I think last week, said how he doesn't feel as though he's faster than Ashton. So he feels like he's got to get absolutely everything out of the cars. Just behind them, that was Ben Mears getting past Joe McDonald with a slightly accidental move, I think. Marco, very deep on the brakes.
And that was for the lead in amateur, so new leader in that category with Ben Mears taking the lead with, I would say, 1.5 laps left in this particular race, as the race leader, Dave Hampson, despite some damage in the front left, is certainly looking good. As look in the background, drivers, like I said, extending the track, and apparently they're willing to pay the, to risk it, as at the same time Efford and Ayers, McNally and Ashton are all in a big fight. Same goes for Max Warre, Sampson, Max Wright, Stuart Dick, I think, is also in there. Little bit of beating and banging on each other's rear of the car. And we go back for the white flag, Salera Blanca. Look at Steven Baxter, by the way.
Yeah, closing in these closing stages. Was significantly faster on the last lap. Well, about this one, yeah, was 1.2 seconds faster than the race leader. He's only 9/10 of a second behind. Could this be a surprising race victory for Stephen Baxter? Also, McNally having to hold off or getting past Ayres. These are all guys who started really far back, who did really well in race 1. Ashton's put his nose down the inside there, and that could have been very problematic for him. As side by side once again between Ayres and McNally. Hefford just behind. Ayres will stick it round the outside there. McNally just about hanging on to that position at the moment. Into Agostini they go. And this is terrific racing, almost 3 wide into this corner. And going to profit from this, I think, is Hefford. There goes Ashton, trying to go down the inside. There wasn't a gap, though, and he had to back out of it all of a sudden to try to keep the car behind him. And still, side by side, Ayres, this time, is going to get the move done on McNally. He doesn't want to give up on it, but maybe that's really cost him, because now he's going to lose a position to Ashton and Hefford, and also Cooper as well, who's managed to get past Hefford. Really good job as well from Luke Cooper to stay within one car of Jack Ashton for pretty much the entire race. But here is the race leaders. Hampson still ahead of Summers, but he makes a mistake. And Summers is going to take the lead, surely, going into bomb hole. And he's held on to the lead for so long as Dave Hampson. But now he's going to go off and lose 3rd position as well. All of a sudden, Stephen Baxter maybe sees an opportunity at race win. I don't think there's going to be an opportunity unless Summers makes a mistake as well. Summers with one more corner to go. He should get out of Murray's cleanly. And he duly does. Here we go then. Charlie Summers, he started in 13th position. It's going to be lucky 13 for him. He crosses the line, wins race 2 at Snetterton. Baxter finishes in 2nd place. And Hampson, well, how did he not win that one? Done all the hard work, and a mistake right at the close has cost him. Ashton beats Ayres. In the end, Cooper dropped behind Mears.
I think we're about to have a big wreck there.
Oh dear.
That is, I think, poor Max Wright getting, yeah, a little bit of a ride. Here comes Craig Jones as well. And Charles Kellyman will finish in 25th place behind Cameron, as now Graham is coming home as well. Certainly a surprising mistake there from Dave Hampson. Let's see it again. Maybe he jumped a bit on that particular, that curb. You see, he missed the apex on the secondary part of the chicane. And then he went very wide. Went to the grass. Baxter almost profited from this mistake big time. But I think, didn't want to push the envelope with Charlie Summers there. Was very happy with the 2nd place. And so he got home and getting some valuable points for his championship. And also we had this fantastic finish here between Ayres and Ashton. with Ashton jumping his opponent by the smallest of margins.
Half a tenth of a second.
Here was
Super
Max Wright
close between those two.
tangling with Max Boire, I would imagine, and poor Max Wright having the worst of it, but, you know, good for him, the race was over. We are still waiting for someone. Is it Brian Holmes? Yes, it is. Taking his time, but home at last. And giving us some burnouts, because I'm sure he knows we always show the final car coming home, and that was all from race 2. In just a second, on your screen, we will give you the race results from this midway point of the night, race 2 out of 4.
Yes, and it's Charlie Summers winning out by 0.3 of a second ahead of Steve Baxter. Dave Hampson led for probably 75% of the race, but only could take away a third position. Pete Van Gool finished in 4th, Jack Ashton up 24 places to 5th. Jamie Ayres did very well as well in 6th place. Ben Mears was in 7th, top of the AM drivers. Then it's Jason Cooper, he just got caught up in an incident, I think, on the last lap, but still decent result for him. Niles Carson finished in 9th, and Max Paul running up the top 10. There was Max Wright, Stuart Dick, Nick McCann, Christian Brown, Martin Sampson, Joe McDonald, Alex Cherney, Adam McNally, Carl Yakala, good drive from him for 43rd on the grid, and Craig Jones running out the top 20. Then it was Cesar Rizzo, Ashley Beard, Ewan Ursum, Craig Cameron, Charles Kellyman, Josh Rayfield, Liam Silkston, Ben Sharp, David Ayres, Steve Cooley, Rob Graham, who started from pole position, Andy Maxwell, Michael Barry, Rafe Cullinan, Steve Hansford, Scott Malcolm, Brian Holmes, and then one lap down was Steve Hefford and Adam Delmont, and then more than one lap down, the retirees, were Billy Rose, James McRitchie, Roots Van Essen, Adrian Hendy, and Kip Stevens. So,
Yes.
Marco, potential 39 car reverse grid. What is the reverse grid gonna be?
Yes, let's bring it up, and for the second time tonight, let's roll it. Joe McDonald is saying 20, so let's see.
Has he bribed us enough money to put it on 20?
He didn't.
Ah.
Full -4. And so, bring out the calculators. Not Delmont, not Efford, not Holmes, and not Malcolm, but Steve Hansford should be your pole sitter. Then Cullinan, Barry, Maxwell, and Rob Graham in the top 5. I think I am right, no?
Yes.
Always thinking with this -2, -3, -4.
And it's very fair that as well, because Maxwell, Barry, Cullinan, and Hansford all started outside the top 34 in that second race. So, you know, different drivers are getting a good opportunity. Rob Graham will get a first starting on pole in this race and will start 5th in the next race. So he's, again, by that scratch card, Rob, you know, you could win quite a bit, I imagine. Marco, is there some replays that we could go through, just see any of the incidents that perhaps we missed at the time?
I would love to, but the event viewer is going crazy because there so many things have happened. I'm actually trying to look if I can find the problem that effectively cost the race win or the race lead for that time being to Peter Van Kool. Let's see if this was the moment. No, this wasn't. He was still in the lead in here, so it must have happened somewhere in this part of the race, I'd say. So if you bear with me for a second, I will try and catch it. Oh yes, here we go.
Here we go. So by himself, pretty much. Had a 3/4 of a second gap. Wide. Oh, well, yeah. Couldn't get the power down. And yeah, round it went off into Cambridgeshire. Another reference that unfortunately no one will get. Even you won't get that,
No,
Marco,
this
because
one,
there's not
I'm
a
sorry.
Cambridgeshire. There's Cambridge FC, but they are unfortunately just a League 1 or a League 2 team.
So yes, I think Sam, we are about to head into the second commercial break, and I think race 3 is coming up in just a bit, no?
Yes, we'll see you back in about 15 minutes time for race 3 of the evening in the BSR MX5 Pro Series.
Gotta love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing. Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Racely to the inside goes Logan Clapman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Truncate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them four abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaw.
Gotta love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing. Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Racely to the inside goes Logan Clapman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Truncate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
40 of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got him for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaw.
'Gotta love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing. To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
Is howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
40 of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got him for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaw.
'Gotta love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing. To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Looks to the outside, and Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
Is howling down to the inside.
I trying, there's contact though.
Wide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaw.
Gotta love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing. To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Racely to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Looks to the outside, and Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
Is howling down to the inside.
I trying, there's contact though.
Wide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaw.
love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing. To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Racely to the inside goes Logan Clapman is gonna touch him. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
I'm going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Wide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
40 of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is...
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network and the BSR MX5 Pro Series. We are now getting up for race 3 of the evening, and on pole position for race 3 is going to be Steve Hansford. He's alongside Ray Cullinan, with Michael Barry in third. Then it's Andy Maxwell, Rob Graham, Steve Cooley, David Ayres, Ben Sharp, Liam Silkston, Josh Rayfield, Charles Kellyman, Craig Cameron, Ewan Ursum, Ashley Beard, and Cesar Rizzo. That's the top 15, and the other drivers will go through for you now. The top 11, by the way, are all AM drivers. So, AM drivers, of course, the slightly less competitive than the pro drivers, really does indicate that there's no favourite amongst the top 11, certainly. And it's going to be tough to call who's going to win this one. We had another big reverse grid from the race 2 results. Andy Maxwell starts in 4th place. However, he hasn't taken the starts, and unfortunately he'll have to start from the pit lane. So then, it's Steve Hansford from the pole position, Cullinan alongside him. Race 3 at Snetterton is underway. So far, I've seen this driver from 2nd place get very good starts, and I think we might see it again. In fact, actually, Hansford just about stays in the lead ahead of Cullinan. Barry trying to pressure going into turn 1. Rob Graham as well, very close. Steve Cooley just dropping down as Ben Sharp has got a very good start just on the inside of turn 1. So far, I've seen 2 very clean starts going into this Montreal hairpin in races 1 and 2. We might see a couple of spins. One driver, 87, just a little bit across the grass there. But so far, so clean, I'd say. Not too many drivers dropping big places, but out in the lead. Cesar Rizzo, by the way, up 6 places already. Starts down in 15th place, and he's got a real good chance of perhaps winning this race after doing very well at Charlotte Motor Speedway last time out. Under pressure once again is Rob Graham, just about holds off Ben Sharp, who's also on the charge. Liam Silkston gets ahead of Josh Rayfield, and also Cesar Rizzo has had enough. So suddenly, Michael for the race win has an off, and well, that's really set him back after that superb race start.
Yeah, McNally, Cameron and Beard all went past him. These are basically the leaders of the pro class, and Alex Cherny right behind him. And at the same time, big mess at the entrance of the Bentley Straight. Cooley is around and many other drivers as well, as we try to get a quick replay in, but that was certainly a disaster.
Sure was. Liam Stockton then up into second place, Josh Rayfield in third, both up 7 places. This is how it happened.
Two teammates colliding.
Yeah. Ambitious there from Cullinan, putting his nose down the inside. It's not really ever going to work out that one, Cullinan, and I imagine if they're in the same Discord, some choice words will be currently used. So, Hansford, after 1 lap completed, or very nearly 1 lap completed, is leading the way. It's Josh Rayfield in second place. Adam McNally starts in 18th place. He's up into the top 3. Superb start for him. Ben Sharp still good start for him in 4th. Also, Alex Cheney up 10 places. He's up into 9th. Mouse Custon up 13 places into 14th place now. So we could say those pro drivers have really infiltrated the top 10. None of them were in the top 10 at the start of the race, and now we've got 5 of them, I believe, in the top 10 as David Ayres rounds.
He's not the only one.
Place.
Look behind him, there is an Excite car pointing in the wrong direction. Was that maybe Brian Holmes? So yeah, Footer Van Essen also involved in that crash there. As we go back to the front of the pack, Hansford distancing himself from McNally somewhat, and behind him Sharp and Rayfield with Beard trying to make its way up the field.
Yeah, Beard driving for Excite iRacing has actually can't get that move done quite yet. He's going to need a couple more corners to make sure of this one. And the number 96 car doing a valiant effort of staying right in there. And actually, Beard's going to lose out. And now all of a sudden they've got loads of other drivers involved as well. Cherney and Cameron and Rizzo and McCann as well. As we go back to the front. Adam McNally, another Excite iRacing driver. And he takes the lead of the race. Past Steve Hansford, he goes. Hansford still leads the out of the Amdras as they've got an off. Ashley Beard, can he hang on to it? Whoa, that is a chip and off the circuit and sliding across. No chance of preventing that one, and well, we were very fortunate there not to have a big pile-up.
Yeah, but that was certainly, you know, less than ideal. The 96 went off, and you can see sliding and sliding and sliding. That was very unfortunate, clipping the front end of the Excite car there. I mean, out of all the places he could have come back on the track. Of course, when you're there, you are sliding out of control. Unfortunately, just as one of his opponents was passing by. So now Adam McNally in first in front of Sharp and Hansford. You can see quite distance. All in all, good for Cameron and Rizzo, because Rizzo is up to P5. Behind them is McCarron and Stuart Dick, then Jacolette, Kellyman, and also rounding out the top 10 is Niels Karstensen.
Yeah, he's up 17 places. Really spreading out amongst the top 4 certainly. Rizzo, can he get the move done on Cameron? This is for second place out of the pro drivers. Currently with Sharp and Hansford, the top AM drivers. And pretty much in all of a big queue, all the way down into 21st position, which is where Brian Holmes currently sits. Spending a little bit wide in the background there was Rizzo, and it invites McCann perhaps to attack as well. Watch out for the drivers of Jason Cooper and Jack Ashton. They're up 16 and 18 places respectively, and of course were the top 2 in race 1. They were on the front row of the grid as well in qualify. So they're probably the fastest drivers out there, and they are making quick work of the field at the moment. Here is Cameron under pressure then, trying to get past Hansford. Hansford really dropping back, struggling for pace at the moment, and Cameron is up into the top 3 now. Can Rizzo get the move done quickly?
The teammates. No, sorry, it's Optical. Optical and SimLab.
Just a bit clumsy there, perhaps, from Rizzo. Trying to get the move around the outside and just tagged the rear of his opponent's car, and it really cost them both.
I thought it was Rizzo and McCarron involved in that, just, you know, looking very quickly between the timing screen and the live pictures, but no, it was the optical car that collected, had contact with Cesare Rizzo. So, yeah, nice commentator's curse in the end, Sam, to bet for Cesare. And now, Stuart Dick is in 4th place, but McCarron looking very, very racy into turn 1.
Easy for Nick McKern. Straight past Stuart Dick. Can Dick come back into Montreal? In fact, it's going to be under pressure. Also, big battling going on behind. Can he get it to stop there? That was Carstensen very deep on the brakes. He's side by side with Yacolet and Ayres and co.
Some of these camera shots are from Saffold. We need the Sam Fitzpatrick camera pack for this particular race.
I will work on it, no doubt.
It's your own track,
it's quite a simple track to do cam as well because it's dead flat, and so you don't have to. That's one element that you don't have to take into consideration. McKern, has he made up another meet, or is he still defending? Yeah, he's still defending against Stuart Dick, so credit to Dick. He's really staying with him, and fortunately for us, viewers, everyone else trying to get involved in this one. Stuart Dick, well, actually now to be fair, he's just pushing us further along. I imagine maybe he's been right on the tail of Nick McKern, and Nick McKern's been thinking how better to defend against this guy when all Stuart Dick wants to do is just pull away as a pair. And that's what he's trying to do at the moment. Side by side between... Oh, that's very deep from the SimLab car. Also a bit of contact in the background.
They all managed to survive. I have no idea how.
Oh, Rizzo's dropping even further down now. His 3rd off. A race which he could have perhaps won.
Bit wide.
Oh, side by side into Murray's. Doesn't usually go well. The year 1 racing driver of, very nearly, well, I think there was contact there. And trying to get past the pair of them is Jack Ashton. And also getting involved, I think, is maybe Cooper. It's all going on. Into turn 1, this lap 5 of this 8-lap race. We're going to see 3 wide going into turn 1. Smart thing to do there from Ayres. I think that was to just back out of that one. Yacolet falling down the order. And Ashton, Ashton's on the inside. Cooper's on the outside there. And of course, they're desperately fighting for the championship.
Oh.
And they are currently side by side.
Disappearance, is that a disqualification? Because someone disappeared from that pack. Yeah, Jamie Ayres.
Oh dear.
Take a look, maybe Sam, if you can look at the incident points.
Unfortunately, I can't see it until the race is
Oh
finished.
yes, of course, you are not an admin of this series, apologies.
I mean, I wish I was. Could deploy safety cars every now and then. It would be horrific fun, to say the least. But yeah, unfortunately not. I will keep everyone up to date with the disqualifications once the race is complete. 20 incidents, of course, these drivers are limited to, which sounds like a decent amount in a 15-minute race. But of course, you imagine on a first lap, you can easily get 3-4 X's, and all of a sudden you're under big pressure when it comes to the incidents. Side by side, Yacolet trying to hold off Jason Cooper, but Cooper's going to get that one done. I think Ashton is just behind, and he follows through. So these two, Margaret, are just glued to one another, aren't they? I don't think I've seen Cooper and Ashton more than about a second away from each other all day long.
Yeah, and poor Yacolet is dropping like a stone. Now getting passed by Ashton, like you were saying. Ampson should be next, together with Baxter and Holmes, as Dick goes wide, and this gives an opportunity to Carstensen to probably make the move into the first corner, even though I think he will have to go around the outside.
Neck and neck going into turn 1. Now lap 6, 3 laps to go. And Carstensen, he's had a little bit of a subdued day so far. He's usually, you know, they're fighting for a podium, but so far so I don't think he's actually got a top 10, but certainly could get a podium in this race. 3 contacts. between number 55, I think that was a space on the inside, that's Stephen Baxter, and the driver who was really strong in race 2. Drops a few places. Yacolet still trying to hold off a couple of drivers and doing a very good job of it. Dave Hampson just getting shoved out there. Brian Holmes gets involved. He's up 26 places from his start. The most amount of places gained from anyone out on the field.
Oh,
And
Stuart
this is
Dick
really
with
a field
issues.
out here as, yeah, Stuart Dick falling down.
Around he went. Let's see what happened there. If we can. We can.
Now, did he jump? Or was he pushed? I feel as though he may have been yeah, that's a push.
Even though there was a fair bit of lag, sadly, there. You know, part of the risks, you know, of this job. The lag contact. Cameron and McCarron are fighting, and they have been trading positions for quite a bit. Seems like McCarron has been able to make the move now. Dave Hampson is struggling a bit to keep the car on the track, and now the Jacolet train. Can you find, you know, double J pan for Jacolet? It's going to be tough, huh?
Oh dear.
Oh, Summers! Hold it.
Wow.
Oh, good save.
Alternative line. Jai Summers keeping behind Brian Holmes. As so beside now Ashton and
Casterson.
Carstensen, apologies. So I think Carstensen let his teammate go, Cooper, and now is trying to hold up Ashton, trying to help out his teammate as much as possible. And he's done a good job there into Montreal. Look at this lot. Whole gaggle of cars. Holmes now at the front of this sorry, no, it's Yacolet at the front. He's still trying to defend. Credit to Carl Yacolet. He's not the fastest driver out there, but he's doing a really good defensive job. And he's being very respectful of the other drivers. Holmes has got parts. And I wonder if the warts of barriers are about to gush open now. Carstensen still ahead of Ashton. Yacolet, well, he's already dropped 2 places on the
Oh, here comes Kellyman for a ride in the grass, whilst Ashton and Carstensen, they keep on fighting. It's been the entire lap, basically. They are not done. Let's go from the chopper and enjoy.
Bit of contact there, I think. Ashton gets ahead. Also, Dave Hampson trying to get involved in this one. Hampson up 25 positions. These guys who were at the front of race 1 have somehow managed to get to the front of race 2 and race 3. It just shows their quality that they can so consistently be able to find their way through without too many incidents. You can see how clean their cars are as well. They absolutely know the formula in order to gain lots of places the way that they do.
Look at Ben Sharp.
To go. Yeah, it's a terrific job.
Yeah, white flag drops right now. Sarela Blanca, and yeah, Ben Sharp looking like he will have both the win in his class and a fantastic second place, gaining 6 spots. McCarron is too far away to profit. I mean, he needs a big mistake from Sharp in order to get that second position.
Okay, Cameron doing a fantastic job as well, still in 4th place, home to hold off Cooper. Cooper would really like this position because Ashton's catching up as well. So it is 2.5 seconds. They'd have to have a bit of contact if they were to bring Ashton into this one. All the way around the outside now is Cooper using that little bit of 200 circuit as well. And I think it might just work out for him. He's a little bit behind. Now he's ahead. And Jason Cooper from 28th on the grid up into the top 4. He'll be very pleased with that one. Summers and Baxter. So Holmes has actually dropped down a little bit, back down to 11th place behind Summers and Baxter, I believe. You can see Yacolet a little bit detached.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of contact. We'll go back to that after the race. I actually noted when that happened, so we should be able to find it back. As Hampson goes a bit wide in his pursuit of Carstensen there. But and now Casterson goes wide, so these two might have a little bit of a fight as they get into the Brandle chicane there. Let's go on board with Hampson and see what happens. Oh, he's going for it.
Always difficult still, which is the best line, the inside or the outside. Hampson's gonna have to go for the outside. That's really deep on the brakes for the Swift Cooper esports driver. And can Hampson get the cut back? No, you couldn't really get the run out. But Out's in the lead. Adam McNally, this has been a very comfortable race run. From 18th on the grid, you don't tend to get comfortable race victories, but he had an awesome start, was in the lead by lap 3, and since then he has just been cruising to the race win. Adam McNally, for Excite Energy iRacing, wins race 3 at Snetterton, ahead of Ben Sharp, top of the drivers, and that is a top drive from Ben Sharp. Congratulations to him. Nick McKern, a little bit of a quiet third place, but up 20 places. Holmes is going to beat Baxter, so Baxter with a poor final lap there. Holmes nearly got Summers as well, side by side between Yacolet and Delmont Yacolet, one out there. And the rest of the drivers coming through as well. Got a nice battle between Silkston, Maxwell and Ayres. Could be close amongst those drivers across the line.
But that I cannot find.
They have just crossed the line. There you go.
So let's go back to the problem I saw earlier in the penultimate lap. Or was it the last lap? I think it was the last lap. Here comes Alex Cherney.
This is the last lap, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that was less than ideal. And basically that created a little bit of chaos there at the back. But apart from that, it was, quite a nice race from all parts involved. And we are waiting for Jeroen Hursum. As if McNally is doing some donuts. Oh no, he just moved back to the pits, so no. And one more driver. It's Rob Graham, who's had, not the best of nights, we can say, Sam?
Yeah, he's been in the right places. Maybe not at the right time.
He's crabbing also, I think. Let's see.
Yes. I mean, Norfolk is famous for its crabs. Some fantastic seaside towns. Great Yarmouth, the jewel of the East Coast, safe to say.
And also home of, I think, my favorite potato chips in the world, the kettle chips, which I'm a big fan of.
I didn't realize it was the home of that.
I think it is. Now you're making me second guess myself. But
I mean, I wish I knew that. There's not many notable things about Great Yarmouth. And really, they should put that everywhere, to be honest. So, the results can be displayed now, I believe.
Yes.
And Adam McNally then. Winner of race 3. Ben Sharp, winner out of the AM drivers. Nick McKern rounds out the podium. Jason Cooper, good performance from Cooper, up in 4th place. And he's pretty much even on points with Jack Ashton so far today, which is pretty much all he needs. Those two are going to get a lot of points today. Craig Cameron held off Ashton right at the end. Niles Carstensen finished in 7th place. There's David Hampson, Charlie Summers, and Brian Holmes running up the top 10. Then Steve Baxter, Carl Yacolet, good driver game from Yacolet, good races 2 and 3. Adam Delmont, Joe McDonald, Craig Jones, Max Bohr, Alex Cherney, Ben Mears, Stuart Dick, and Steve Hefford. And then it was Kip Stevens, Christian Brown, Charles Kellyman, Scott Malcolm, Liam Silkston, Andy Maxwell, David Ayres, James McRitchie, Max Wright, Steve Cooley, Rafe Cullen, Billy Rose, Juan Ursum. Those were all the drivers on the lead lap. One lap down was Rob Graham. He got pole position for race 2. He was 5th place for race 3. If we get a full reverse grid, he'll be in pole position for race 4 as well. The retirees were quite a few of them. Jamie Ayres, Cesar Rizzo, Steve Hansford, Josh Rayfield, Ashley Beard, Pete Bengal, Martin Sampson, Roots Van Essen, and Michael Barry. By the way, the drivers who got disqualified in that race were Jamie Ayres, Alex Cherney, actually, with that late crash, was on 19. Cesar Rizzo got 21, so he was disqualified. Stuart Dick was on 19. Vic Cullen was on 19. And that's pretty much it. So the trial's really running it close with the incidents so far, staying already, I believe, 3 incidents across races 2 and 3. So Marco, the reverse grid wheel, what is it gonna be?
Yeah, the final one for tonight. Let's roll it. You know what we say in Italy, it's not always Sunday. For Rob Graham, he got lucky twice, but not this time. Full -4, which means that he will not get the chance to start from pole position or even have a good starting position. He will start all the way back in 34th, and so -4 once again. The number was 34, so not Graham, not Ursem, not Rose, not Cullinan, but it's the year 1 driver Steve Cooley, then Max Wright, James McRitchie, David Ayers, and Andy Maxwell. So this time, bringing the car home destroyed, which was a great effort from Rob, didn't pay off in the end.
No, it didn't in the end. But he struggled when he's been at the front, so maybe he'll burst from the back.
Good point.
To first, perhaps. Who knows? Certainly wish him the best of luck. Were there any other incidents that we managed to note down, Marco?
Not that I can remember.
Watch back. Okay, no problem. Well, we'll be back for race 4 then in about 15 minutes time. And yeah, that'll be the final race of the evening. And it might also be at night. Don't want to miss that one. The racing is chaotic as it is. Imagine if they can't see. So, come back in about 15 minutes time for the conclusion of this round of the BSR MX5 Pro Series.
Gotta love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing. To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Racely to the inside goes Logan Clapman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkett goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing. To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Racely to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaw.
Gotta love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing. To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Racely to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them four abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Gotta love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing. Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Racely to the inside goes Logan Clapman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Truncate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well. As
40 of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made.
Welcome back to the BSR MX5 Pro Series on the iRacing Esports Network, presented by Apex Racing TV. We are just preparing for race 4 of the evening, the final race of the evening, and on pole position for race 4 of the evening is Steve Cooley. Max Wright starts in second place with James McRitchie in third, then it's David Ayres, Andy Maxwell, Liam Silkston, Scott Malcolm, Charles Kellyman, Christian Brown, and Kip Steves. That's the top 10. We saw another big reverse grid in that race 3, and we are about to get underway. So it's Steve Cooley from the pole position, Max Wright alongside him, and we are away for race 4 at Snetterton. Fantastic start straight away for Max Wright. He's going to be challenging going into turn 1. Good slipstream as well for James McRitchie. He might go to the inside. We've got 3 wide for the lead straight away. McRitchie, will he stick with it down the inside? No, he backs out of it. In the end, contact there between the top 2, and they spin each other out of contention. Fortunately, not many other drivers get involved. There was just one other, maybe Silkston, you're absolutely right. But the top 2 hitting one another in turn 1. It leaves the door wide open for James McRitchie. Side by side just behind for David Ayres. Great start for Scott Malcolm. He's up 4 places so far. Christian Brown is up 5 places. But McRitchie sprinting away, and he's got a decent chance maybe at this race victory as long as he can keep it together. Oh, another big crash behind.
Yes, they are crashing left and right and center. Big pile up that we were fearing. I cannot even begin to oh, big hit for Max Wright there. not even begin to comprehend the amount of cars involved in that. That really destroyed a big portion of the field, including several amateurs, I'm afraid to say. As you can see, the top 20 is now almost completely blue, and the happiest driver of them all, James McRitchie, was able to, get the lead at the start, thanks to the contact between the first two cars, and now running away as he has Ayers and Malcolm behind him, then Brown, Kellyman, Efford, Maxwell, Stevens, Cherney, and rounding up the top 10 was Ben Muse, or still is Ben Muse.
Muse already with a win so far today. He's currently in 5th place out of the AM drivers, but still doing well in the overall standings. Behind him, Bohr and Dick going at it. Issues as well for Jason Cooper. He got caught up in that one. That's quite big for the championship. Of course, championship seems to be a two-way battle between Ashton and Cooper. So the fact that Cooper got knocked down there gives a little bit of points to Jack Ashton. Cooper will be leading coming out of this round, but certainly any points that Jack can gain will be useful. He's already making his way back up through the field, though, is Jason Cooper, the number 1 car. But yeah, very good start actually for Ashton. He is up 9 places up, 17 places Cesar Rizzo, 18 places for Ashley Beard, 18 places for Ruth Van Essen and Michael Barry, as well as we see side by side there, Kip Stevens in with Andy Maxwell, Alex Journey, Ben Mears as well. A couple of the Automech drivers side by side there, but sorry, no, well, apologies, it wasn't Automech, it was Cherney in the Swift Cooper Esports.
Quite similar liveries from behind.
Yes.
Especially because Cherney has the
Thank you,
orange
Marco.
highlights, on his car.
Oh dear, that's the car in the middle of the
that's
track.
Scott Malcolm. And once again, the blimp comes... No, it doesn't help us, because Rizzo was involved as well, I think, even though he's back racing, but losing positions to Sharp, and now Billy Rose also coming in behind him, and he has some big damage to the right side of his car, as Stuart Dick is also enjoying a torrid time as they enter the Bentley Straight. As we were fearing this, Sam, the night is bringing a lot of chaos, and it's not over because Maxwell is out of the race. Maybe a contact with Jack Ashton, or maybe 2 separate crashes. No, separate crashes, I think. So there is Ashton, and we should see very soon.
Oh wow, that's a broken steering.
Yeah. Okay, so back live.
That's awful for Ashton then. Like I was saying before, opportunity to take some points out of Jason Cooper's championship lead, but it looks as though Ashton is going to have to get back to the pits, or well, they could probably finish the race. It's quite a long lap round here, so it's unlikely he's going to go multiple laps down. As long as you finish within 2 laps of the race leader, then you still score some points, and considering that there's a big drop off between about 40th place and not finishing, it's definitely worth finishing for all these drivers. I would know better than most, seeing that I won the BSRTC Winter Series by virtue of finishing 25 consecutive races. Other drivers, by the way, were struggling to finish 2 consecutive races, and that very much got me the championship win. I don't bring that up enough, I feel. I mean, it's my one achievement, along with Sebring winning that in Daytona. But no, yeah, I roughly know what I'm
Also, I think the only driver in history to win the overall and the amateur title in the same
Yes.
season. So...
And the only driver to have a 100% win record in the BSR leagues that they've entered. I've entered one, and I've won one, and I'm not going to enter another one ever again.
Yes, but did you ever accumulate as many penalty points as I did in one round in Phoenix?
No, I didn't, unfortunately. You'll keep that record for a while, Mark, I'm sure.
To each their own. Oh, Kip Cooper Stevens is off, and which is not ideal as he's losing some time. McRitchie looking good at the front, 3.5 seconds over Steve Efford, and we have the amateur battle. It's Ayers and Kellyman. Then Cherney is in 5th and Stevens as we switch back to Charlie Summers trying, well, to use an interesting line. There is Stuart Dick in the 61, loses the position to Summers. Also here comes Ben Sharp coming off of a great race. And Sharp seems like he will have to wait a bit more if he wants to try and attack the 61. Dick, once again, very aggressive on the curbs, runs wide, picks up the 1X as we enter the 4th lap out of 8. So halfway mark of the final race of the night. Dick defending on the inside very aggressively, and he should be able to stay in front, whilst Sharp might have to maybe try to dive on the inside here at the hairpin, but I don't think he will have enough space.
Yeah, it's kind of just stuck on the outside at the moment. And actually, Beard gets involved in this one up 25 places for Beard. So down in 29th place, really suffered from that reverse grid, but has done very well since then. And here he goes, early on the power. It's what he got to be through that corner. But not picking up the slipstream, and now the 24 car on his outside. It's doing very well. That camera, I mean, that is a bad camera. I mean, I couldn't see anything from that, but there you go. I think he made the move, didn't he? Beard? Yep.
Yeah, he did. No, he didn't.
Oh no, what? What's going on here? Sharp coming back.
Okay, we'll come to those guys very soon because we have a side-by-side action for 4th. Cherney trying to pass Kellyman. So this is done, and back to this other fight.
Also pretty close between, Cherney getting that one done. Pretty close between Summers there and Delmont. Summers getting past Delmont there. Beard and Sharp, and Rizzo now gets involved in this one. Could see Rizzo back up there, 21 places gained for him. He's had a bit of a difficult day. Really had a good chance at winning race 3, wasn't it? It was the last race where he was the top running pro driver in the early stages. Was running in about 6th place, had 5 amateur drivers ahead of him, and it took there was half a lap into the race when he had a spin, really entered his chances. Axe Cherney now up a place past David Ayres, so it's now a Pro 1, 2, 3. But Ayres still leading the way out of the judge with Kellyman always there or thereabouts is Charles in 2nd place. And Steve is now catching up. So it's kind of a bit of an odd one, this, Marco, because I wouldn't say many of the top drivers have really infiltrated this, and some quite large gaps as well. We haven't got that big kind of train that we usually get from 5th down to 20th position.
Yeah, I think that if Cherney now can get a little bit of clean air, I think he can really maybe try and go... I mean, there's not a lot of time, granted, but I think he has the pace to go and maybe try to catch effort. I don't know about McRitchie, as this fight between Dick, Sharp and Beard continues, as there is a contact a bit too overambitious, I think, there from Ben Sharp. He really threw the car on the inside of the corner, was all sorts of sideways. And now the 444 of Billy Rose almost joining him on the sidelines, but Rose saves the car, brings it into 4th place, in 3rd place, sorry, of the amateur race, and now fancying his chances against the pro driver Adam McNally. Here comes Sharp, who has really been very aggressive in this race, as here we go again. Side by side, door banging, why not? It's the final race of the night, who cares? There's no race 5. Also, back at the front, we switch very quickly because Ayres, Kellyman and Stevens are in a fight. And Ashley Beard, sorry, Ben Sharp gets the position back on his opponent.
It's been a long evening. You've seen a lot of Masters in the last
and a lot of
days.
GT3s as well, so...
Yes. So yeah, Ayres at the front of this one, but you feel as like this is just a matter of time until all these drivers get past him. First up, this is for the AM lead. Charles Kellyman takes the lead out of the Andreas. There goes Stevens, early apex. I don't think it was a move necessarily, but certainly straight away tries to get his car on the inside. He'll try to get the inside for Montreal now, and Stevens didn't go for the move that time. I thought that the driver ahead of Ayres was leaving himself a bit vulnerable, but Stevens stayed behind. Now Bohr just behind Stevens. I think he may have just got past Baxter. And now it's Stevens all of a sudden with the drivers queuing up behind and really have to go defensive into Agostini. Stevens up in about 4th position, or so, 5th position in the championship. Hasn't had a terrific last few rounds, but usually a very consistent driver. As is that an engine?
I think it's an engine
there?
for
Baxter.
Baxter, I think, yeah.
Oh, it is a shame.
Let's listen.
Yeah, nothing that he did wrong.
Yeah, the unmistakable sound of an MX5 engine exploding.
And he won't score points as well.
No, he won't.
Needs to finish 7 of the laps. And, well, he's only finished 5, so...
yeah, the rules are the same as the reverse. You need to be at the most 1 lap down to score the... And you are right, you score big points, even if you finish way back, you know. A few seasons ago, I think it was... you know, apart from your great example of yourself, but it was... as Rizzo goes sideways, it was Scott Malcolm winning the amateur title by virtue of finishing, you know, which is always a good thing. As Kellyman goes wide, Ayres gets the jump, and here we go again. This time I think the pro drivers will swarm poor Charles Kellyman.
Yeah, so Ayres leading the way out of... Did we see it? I thought Kellyman got past Ayres early on, but
yes,
yes. But
and Kellyman made a mistake now.
So. Yeah, so Bohr.
It's been a long
then
night.
Trying to get past Kellyman. He might have the inside for this next left-hander. Really commit to the move. You can see he's got a part of his car alongside, but really good speed around the outside there for Charles Kellyman. And still cannot cover that off. Now he can, actually. And Bohr might just have to back out of this one. You can see Stevens losing a little bit of time just ahead of these guys. They're much deeper on the brakes, all 3 of them, placing massive car lengths on the 2 cars ahead. And they got it stopped, to be fair. Bohr holding off Ayres. Summers is now involved in this one. Jason Cooper, who I was saying how it was having a mare, getting caught up in that first lap wreck. He's up into 12th position now, is Cooper. So good recovery for him, and he's going to massively outscore Jack Ashton as well. So very important for his championship. Hopefully we'll have a chat with him, just as we did at Charlotte last week.
Summers has passed Bohr on the straight as we move back to the front of this pack, because well, Stevens defending on Kellyman, and Kellyman at the same time defending from Jamie Ayres, as we are about to enter the final lap of the night. It has been a long night, and it will be the final lap, so one more chance for these drivers to settle their scores and, you know, improve their final position in this 4th race of the night.
Ayres makes the move. Well, I don't think he quite needs to go that wide, to be fair, Jamie Ayres, but he was making 100% sure that he displaced his rival there. It's that Kellyman just dropping back down. So Bohr, who had a bit of a bad lap that last time round, trying to get past Kellyman, but he's faced great difficulty in making that one. Here is Ashton, here's Beard and Cooper. And Beard will want to hold back Cooper as much as possible, try to help out his Excite Racing. Those 2 teams, Swift Cooper Esports and Excite iRacing, are the top 2 teams in the championship, but not too much resistance there put up by Ashton Beard. Cooper up into 11th place, and it could be even higher if these drivers come together right at the close. Still Stevens really falling back into this pack. contact amongst a few drivers, and Stephen's going to be pushed out here. Through goes Jamie Ayres up into the top 5. Started in 25th place, but he's up into 5th position now. Stevens holds back Summers, and here comes Kellyman again. Bohr just behind Delmonts. And Cooper and Beard, I don't think I'm going to quite catch this one at the end of the race. You can just probably see them in the foreground there, but I don't think they're going to catch in time. Really, the position settled amongst the top 4 drivers. But it's still all going on down here. Summers under pressure from Cayman. I doubt Cayman's going to be able to come back at him, seeing that Summers seems to be the faster driver. And also side by side between Cooper getting past Delmont now. So another position gain from Cooper. Really good day this for him for top 7 results. Hasn't been taught for top 7 results for James McRitchie, but it's going to be a race for victory for him. Easy for McRitchie in the end. Started in 3rd place, and he has capitalised fully on every opportunity, and he wins race 4 at Snetterton. We're going to see side by side across the line. Ayres versus Ayres. David versus Jamie.
I think
David Jamie Ayres beats David Ayres by 1/100th of a second. Ever so close between those two. Ayres still finishing. David Ayres, that is, still finishes atop of the AM drivers. But Canali will finish in 18th place. Big gap back, 12 seconds back to Pete Van Gool.
Okay, so let's see what happened there at the start. Why not? Whilst all the other drivers are coming home. And let's see from the perspective of the driver who was in front, if I can find him. Apparently I can't. This is from Steven Baxter's car. We have a clearer idea of the second pile-up that we've had, because I think Steven was involved. Sam, let's see from the chopper if we can have an idea of what happened there, where it started, who started it, if we can find. Oh no,
it's just behind.
It was behind.
So
yeah.
The one car, so Baxter missed Mr. Lucky there. Still didn't yield a fantastic result, I think, did Baxter after a decent first 3 races.
Also, with Steve Cooley, of course. How can I forget one of the veterans of the series, especially the amateur series. And it was, let's see from McRitchie's perspective. Why not?
I mean, this was very responsible driving, wasn't it, Marco? Because so easily you could have gone down the inside there, make it 3 wide. Instead, he just lets them take each other out. I'll have that one up into the lead.
Yeah. Silkstone, nowhere to go. He went wide in the grass. So, let's see if we can have live pictures of the race winner. No, he just towed back to the pits as I switched to him. Maybe he was doing some donuts. There's a lot of smoke there at the pit exit, so that must have been what was going on, as other drivers are enjoying, as the night now is really falling on the track, and we have to be very quick, because otherwise the tree will come and eat all of the Mazdas. I know he's very fond of them. Here we go, race results for race 4.
Yeah, James McRitchie wins out then, 3.3 seconds ahead of Steve Hefford. Alex Jenny rounding out the podium. Jamie Ayres finished in 4th place. Really good drive from him from 35th on the grid. David Ayres in 5th. There's Kip Stevens, Charlie Summers, Charles Kellyman, Max Bohr, and Jason Cooper. Really good day for Cooper in the championship, despite a little bit of a struggling couple of final laps. But so no, he did well overall in that 4th race. There's Adam Delmont, Ashley Beard, Stuart Dick, Cesar Rizzo, Brian Holmes, Root Van Essen, Ben Sharp, Adam McNally, Pete Van Gool, Martin Sampson in 20th. Then it was Billy Rose, Juran Ursum. He should maintain his AM championship lead. Steve Cooley, who started on pole, Josh Rayfield, Michael Barry, Steve Hansford, Scott Malcolm, Joe McDonald, Ben Mears, Niles Carstensen, David Hampson, Liam Silkston, Craig Jones, and then the retirees were Steve Baxter, Rob Graham, Rafe Cullinan, Jack Ashton, Andy Maxwell, Christian Brown, Nick McKern, Craig Cameron, Max Wright, and Carl Yaklet. 43 drivers in the end. Did anyone get disqualified in that last race? Charlie Summers was on 19 incidents. No one got disqualified. Congratulations to the drivers for not getting disqualified. We did see a few across the evening, but really just a couple significant ones. So interviews. I think we're going to have a chat with Adam McNally first. Adam, congratulations out there. I
Thank
think
you.
it may have been a podium. Was it in race 2? How did your race go overall?
Oh, it was a win in race 3.
Wins. Apologies.
No worries. It was a good race. Race 1, sat in 6th the whole way, just making sure no one got past for my teammates. Race 2, 24th to 5th in span. Race 3, 18th to 3rd by the end of lap 1. Couldn't believe it. Into first by halfway through lap 2 and just managed the gap from then. But I desperately needed that win for the showdown points, so more than happy with that. It's been a long time since I got a win. And race 4, just look at that, rear-ended twice, slowing down for a crash. My car was definitely not MX5 shape, but got it to the end, so all solid points for the night.
Yeah, definitely. How did that race 4 impact going through turn 4 affect you? What was your view of it?
I just come in and I saw a big check-up, so I got on the brakes and I got put from behind. There was a car in front, and I just got sandwiched between the middle. And the car was just lacking top speed and everything, just had no pace whatsoever. So it was basically a case of just getting it to the finish line. But I think we still got 18th, so still decent points.
And you were talking about before about the showdown qualification. Is that kind of your main aim, and how confident are you about achieving that?
Oh, well, it's look at the draw. Really, it depends on how many incidents you have. Get taken out of a few races, that's it. Showdown's over. But yeah, that's definitely the main focus now. Showdown, getting the team into showdown, as many of our drivers as possible into the showdown, just to give us a better chance. And it's looking good so far.
We certainly wish you the best of luck for that one. Adam, is there anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, just the usual. You guys for the broadcast, Jamie and everybody behind the scenes who do all the hard work. To Excite Energy, our main sponsor. We've got Racer Mentor, LuxSim24. We have ASG UK, Motorsport Days Live, and the Pre or Premature Baby Foundation. And
Thanks.
that's it. And obviously, our drivers, we put on a great show, especially race 1. Looking five of the top 11 positions out.
Well, congratulations, Adam, on that race win, and hopefully many more will follow. We'll see you in a week's time.
Thank you very much.
So that was Adam McNally. And Marco, are you okay to have a chat with Ben Mears?
Certainly, absolutely. Should be with us right now. Hello, Benjamin.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
Doing fine, doing fine. So let's begin. How was your night?
I finished 4, that's most important. Bit of bad luck in the last race, but I'm satisfied about the rest.
What is your opinion about this racetrack? Because some drivers really like it, especially for hot lapping. Others don't seem to like it very much. Especially because it's very flat and maybe there are not too many passing opportunities. What are your thoughts about this track?
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Like I would have rather driven the 200 one, because I prefer shorter ones with the Mazda. But all in all, I pretty much like the track. So I mean, it's really nice to just be able to defend against some of the good guys as well, because you have the advantage of the track being so difficult to overtake. So I like that. But I mean, it goes both ways, you know.
I agree with you in the sense that I prefer the 200 layout. It is much better in my opinion. So, do you know where we are racing next? Because I knew, but I forgot.
Yes, you are asking the right person. We are racing at my home track, Zolder.
Oh, in the alternate layout, maybe I think also.
Yes.
See,
Just
I made my
throwing some
homework.
spite. Yeah,
So,
nice.
well, what about that particular Because the only change, if I'm not mistaken, is that chicane there at the end of the track, no?
I would say,
Yeah, how much does it change the overall layout of the track?
let's say that's an extra suicide factor to the race, because the only thing you are doing there is basically lifting. Maybe if it's hot, you slightly tap the brakes. It's really tricky because if people want to go side by side, it's comparable going down the mountain through the dipper. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy. There's always one party that's gonna lose hard or crash, probably. So
Also,
that, yeah, sorry.
yeah, I saw many times in official series, I saw the drivers in the qualifying or in the first lap of the race. Since it's not very well signaled, sometimes you see
No,
drivers take the regular chicane, you know?
I can remember last year somebody asking during practice or qualifying, like, "Oh, is this? Am I doing something wrong
I'm
here?"
getting a slowdown, you know, people say usually.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, well, actually, you're slower because you're taking the chicane, so I don't think you get a slowdown. You're just slower. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna love driving there. It's gonna be tight again, a bit of the same as here. It's difficult to pass, definitely going into the chicane. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
One more question about, well, another championship because September marks the start of the new season of the Sim Racers World GT3 Championship. Will you be racing there?
Most likely, yes. Most likely, I will be driving probably a Ferrari or maybe a Mercedes. But I will try my best to get in there for sure.
Awesome. Before we let you go, Ben, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for streaming. I'd like to thank Automac Hill for providing me with a team. And I'd like to thank everybody for watching.
Thanks you very much. That was Ben News, and Ben, catch you next week then.
Thank you. Bye bye.
And Sam, I think that will wrap up our interviews for tonight. It has been quite an enjoyable night of racing, and yes, the action, of course, doesn't stop here, even though, sadly, tomorrow and Thursday we are both days off because, like we were saying, we were talking with Ben, Sim Racers World will be back in September, and BSRTC has an off day, so we are going to be back with you on Friday night at 7 GMT for the Racing Le Mans Series, Saturday at 13 GMT for the Sim Racers Asia F3 Championship, and finally on Sunday with the Aussie Mixed and Fixed GT Development Series. And then from Monday we will be back, with the MX5 amateurs, and of course here on the iRacing Esports Network with Sam Fitzpatrick, of course. World GT, no, World GT is on a break, right?
Oh, it is. Oh, what are we going to do with ourselves for the next week? Oh dear. Well, there's plenty of other events at least on the iRacing Esports Network. Of course, certainly do give that a subscribe and click on the bell as well. Personally, I don't click on the bell. I don't really like notifications, but it does allow you to notice the live streams, which is very good on the iRacing Esports Network because there is almost a live stream going on pretty much every time of day. Pretty much, there's some fantastic dirt oval and rallycross and prototype GT Mazda racing, of course, as well. So certainly do give it a subscribe. Also, like the video and also check out our YouTube channel, Apex Racing TV, for more Mazda broadcasts and Kia Optima as well, and plenty of others as well. And here mine and Marco's voices somewhat. You know, who wouldn't want that? I thank you for tuning in, and yeah, we'll see you very soon. So for me and for Marco, we'll say goodbye, and we'll see you next time.